Hey guys, it's E from Silver Gaming back with you with another episode of the Rainbow Six Siege Closed Alpha. Been playing it now for about 3 days, I think, and getting to know the game a lot better. So I wanted to expand on some of the few things I talked about in the last video. First, it's a tactical shooter. This in the closed alpha, the only mode that's available is this attack and defend mode, where you're either attacking, trying to gather the hostage, or you're trying to protect the hostage. So it's pretty simple. There's only two maps. The one I'm on right now is House, or Home, I think it's called. The other one is Plane, which you'll see a little bit later. And it's 5-on-5 only, and each round lasts for about 3 or 4 minutes. There's 2 phases to each round. There's the preparation phase, which goes for about 40 seconds. If you're attacking, each 5 of your teammates gets a little recon drone to drive around the house with the plane to try to find the hostage. And it's you really do want to find the hostage ahead of time, because if you don't find them before the preparation phase ends, you'll have no idea where in the building the hostage is. So you have to kind of check everywhere, which can take a lot longer, which leads me to the action phase, which only lasts for about 3 minutes. And the preparation phase for the defenders is where they get to use a lot of their special abilities, which I'll get into specifically with each operator in a little bit. But you can place barricades, you can reinforce walls, and you can use all your little gadgets and things like that to help defend the area that you choose to keep the hostage. At the beginning of each round, the attackers and the defenders each vote where they want to spawn. For the defenders, it's more important because wherever gets the highest votes is where the hostage will spawn and is where you have to defend. So it's good to talk it out ahead of time, because you only really have a few seconds to decide where you want to vote, to look and see where you want to defend in the house. Because I've already found some key locations that at least I like more than others for defending, especially in the house. Actually in the plane too. But yeah, that's where the defenders do most of their work, is in the prep phase, just getting ready with all their gadgets and things like that. And the action phase is really more about them sitting tight. People complain that everyone's camping in this game, but that's actually the game mode. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to protect the hostage. So if you don't like camping, don't play the game, because it's what you're supposed to do. You'll see that was one of those glitches that we've been dealing with, where the barricade kind of disappears and then reappears, and I don't know whether that's just a kill cam problem or whether that's happening real time with the other players. But I'll talk about some glitches I've seen in a little bit. I'm getting sidetracked. So the different there are 10 operators total in the closed alpha. The Ubisoft blog says there's going to be a total of 20, but right now we've only seen 10 of them, and there's 5 on each side. So on the attack side, we've got Sledge. And Sledge I talked about in the first video. His special ability is to use a sledgehammer, which can break down some walls, doors, and barricades with one shot. The reason it's beneficial is because the only other way to break these down is by meleeing them, and you have to melee them a couple times to break them down, which really just makes a ruckus, and they know which door you're coming into. Or you have to use breaching charges, which you only have so many of. And if the defenders are smart and put a lot of barricades up, it really slows you down. But with Sledge, you can just tear through one barricade at a time. It does make you vulnerable for that few, seconds. It's not even seconds; it's partial seconds. It's fractions of a second. For when you slam it open with your sledgehammer, you are exposed for a brief amount of time. But if you play it right, you can usually knock it down and get out of the way. The next attacker operator is called Thermite. His special ability is that he has a thermite breaching charge. And the reason why it's a unique breaching charge in that walls that are reinforced, and you'll see it in the video where you can reinforce walls using these big metal-like barriers that you lock in place. A normal breaching charge and Sledge's sledgehammer, there's no way to penetrate it except with his thermite breaching charge. So, again, if the defenders were smart and they reinforced a lot of walls, it's another way to access a room that you wouldn't normally be able to do. So it's important. It is kind of a chess match when it comes to that, where it's about balance. And, how do you counteract this reinforcement? Well, there's a guy that does it perfectly. You just have to make sure you pick him. The next attacker is Ash, and she has a really cool... it's a special breaching charge that shoots like a grenade launcher, so you can shoot a breaching charge at distance, which can become helpful because a lot of times through shadows and with the one of the other defenders that carries a heartbeat sensor, the defenders can see you approach a barricade and throw a breaching charge on it. But if you have her, you can just shoot it from across the room and they won't see it coming. So that is definitely beneficial. Thatcher and Twitch are similar in that they both carry EMP weapons, but Thatcher has an EMP grenade that he can throw to disable equipment, and Twitch has an EMP drone, which he can, is less obvious. In order to throw a grenade, you'd have to clear the barricades first, but with the drone, you could drive your drone underneath the door of the barricade and then detonate it. And it does a little bit of damage to the enemies, but most importantly, it disables the equipment of the defenders. Now, onto the defenders. You've got smoke, and what smoke does is smoke throws down it looks like a grenade. Oh, here's right here. It's perfect timing. This is what I meant by reinforcing walls. You put up these things here that lock in place. And the only thing that can penetrate those is Thermite's breaching charge. So you got to have him on your team to be able to go through there. Otherwise, you're forced to go through one of the doors or windows. You can't go through a wall. So anyways, smoke throws chemical charges. They're like little grenades that are remote activated, remote triggered. And they emit a toxic gas, which you really can't get through. It just instantly repels the enemy. I find when playing smoke that it's best not to put them down well ahead of time. I usually like to wait to see where the attackers are attacking from, and then throw those grenade charges in front of doorways and windows and things like that. So as soon as they try to jump through, you can trigger it, boom, and it instantly makes them either kills them, it makes them vulnerable, very vulnerable, so they instantly want to back up. The defenders, I spoke about this a little bit ago. Pulse, he carries a heartbeat monitor. Now the heartbeat monitor isn't too OP because it has a limited range. It's only good for about 10 or 15 meters. So the good thing is that it does differentiate your teammates from the enemies. You see how right here all your teammates are highlighted in white. So you can tell whether it's a good guy's heartbeat or a bad guy's heartbeat. So if you see a heartbeat pulsing and these little red lead rings kind of pulse, hence his name, like a heartbeat in the vicinity of where somebody is standing. So that's helpful. Of course, somebody throws an EMP grenade or Twitch uses EMP drone, that system won't work for a few seconds. So timing's everything and teamwork is key. Rook. Now, he has kind of a passive ability. He doesn't activate anything. What he does is that he can drop extra armor for the teammates, for the other defenders. So really all he does is throw down this pack. Your teammates can grab some, equip extra armor, which is helpful because you can take more damage, more hits that way. But after that, he's just all prep. So, the key is with timing, because you only have those 40 seconds to prepare your room for defense. So you got to somehow figure out, do I have time to put armor on and reinforce a wall and barricade a door and barricade, it's all about timing. So it's interesting, but the armor is pretty helpful. I've noticed it makes a big difference when you're wearing it, just how much more abuse you can take. Now the next guy is called Muted, or Muter, I think, I can't remember. But he has these jammers that he can place down in the room. You're only given 4, so you have to be strategic as to where you put them. But what that'll do is, let's say you have a reinforced wall, and you have a guy with a heartbeat sensor that knows Thermite's about to breach it. If you have put down a jammer in front of that wall, his breaching charge will not be able to detonate. It will prevent these special targets from, these special abilities from working, particularly breaching charges from working. Or even I don't know about the EMP grenade. The EMP grenade will counteract it, but I believe it will shut down the EMP drone. So once again, this is all about balance, checks and balances as to how you safely can attack things. You want a lot of options for you, options for defenders and options for attackers. So it's very much a chess game when it comes to attacking and defending. But the jammer I find really important, actually, and I think it's underutilized by a lot of teams I've seen so far. People not realizing where you should put them. I think it's best to put them in front of doors and walls where you think they'll be breaching. Stick it as close to the hostage as possible, optimizing or minimizing the places where they can breach and enter a room. The last defender is called Castle, and what he carries is a unique barricade. Rather than the standard wooden barricades that anybody can place on windows and doors, he has a Kevlar barricade that he can place in front of these objects, and it takes a lot more abuse. It takes multiple breaching charges to break them, and I haven't even tested it or seen or heard whether the thermite charge that thermite carries can breach through it or not. My guess is it can, but normal breaching charges and sledge will take multiple hits in order to break this barricade. So it's not a normal barricade, it's a reinforced Kevlar barricade. It becomes very, very helpful. And he carries, I think it's 3 of them that you can place up. So in addition to reinforcing walls and doing all the other barricades, he can add 3 additional Kevlar barricades, which are very, very helpful. Now, each side also has an additional operator, which is, well, it says WIP, which means the work in progress, and it's just called Recruit. And Recruit doesn't have any of the special abilities that the other operators have, but you do get to have a wider selection of weaponry and other equipment that you carry. So there's a check and balance there where you can probably carry more grenades, more breaching charges, and other equipment that you can carry with you. And you can customize slightly the look of the character, whether it's FBI SWAT, GIGN from France, or British SAS, which I think are the only 3 that are really talked about so far in the game. There's probably more to come. I'm not sure. Now that those equipment that you can carry, each operator can also choose between 2 different kinds of equipment, and they vary based on the operator. Some of them are a barbed wire coil, which you throw down, and what it does is that it slows down the attackers when they walk through it, like if you're defending. Of course, the attackers can choose breaching charges, or they can choose grenades, or flashbangs. Defenders can also carry or choose a, see that right in front of him? That's a retractable wall that you can carry with you. It's like a steel-plated armored wall that you can drop down in front of you and stand behind as like a, it's portable cover, basically. And once you put it down, you can pick it back up again. It's not it's not one and done, so that's good. So you're not stuck with where you drop it. You can move it, but depending on the operator will depend upon which options you have, but you only have one of 2. Now this game feels, the more I play it, feels very different from previous Rainbow Six games to me, which isn't necessarily a bad thing per se, but it's different. A lot of the questions I have to do with what else is coming. Like, will you be able to rank up? You'll see in the action, the post-round little clip there in the upper right-hand corner, it says that I'm rank 1. So I have been accruing, XP. I just don't know what that XP does, and obviously that hasn't been implemented yet, which doesn't surprise me per se, because it's only a closed alpha, so it's still early enough in development where a lot of changes can be made. But do you rank up, and if you rank up, what do those ranks, give you? The thing that's really missing from this game from previous Rainbow Sixes, it's more fast-paced than previous games, and there's no cover system that's been implemented at all, which I find interesting because the last 2 Rainbow Six games, Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2, both, that was kind of like their bread and butter, was the cover system. And most other Tom Clancy games have cover systems. The Ghost Recon series has a cover system. I can't think of it. Yeah, what's his name? Sam Fisher. I can't think of the name of his character, but his name is Sam Fisher. They always have cover systems. Like it's part of the tactical end of a tactical shooter is to have a cover system to be able to protect yourself and see around corners, so to speak. Where this is lacking that. It has a much more feel of like a Battlefield meets a Counter-Strike, which once again isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just not what I expected from a Rainbow Six game. It's very much like Counter-Strike, obviously, because it's attack and defend, and once you die, you're out. There's no respawns. So it's not in Battlefield like that sense, but the look and the feel of the guns is kind of Battlefield, although there's really not a whole lot of kickback on the guns yet. I'm hoping they're going to change that, because even like as a sidearm, you can use a MacLeod, and if anybody knows anything about MacLeods, that they have ridiculous recoil on them. They can just splatter all over the place, and when you shoot that gun, it stays completely still, which is I don't know how realistic they're going to go for things, but it just seems kind of ridiculous to me that there's not more recoil in a lot of these guns. But that's probably stuff they're going to optimize and refine out as the process goes along. Of course, some of the other issues I've seen is that the hitboxes need adjusting, which is no surprise. There's some glitches that I run into. There's some kill cam glitches, like you'll see you get shot and you'll see sometimes the weapon won't even appear there, or the hands and the weapons will phase out, or you'll almost be looking through the gun. And like sometimes you'll see on a kill cam where the barricade doesn't appear to be there, and the guy who killed you can see you clearly, and then all of a sudden the barricade appears again. So I don't know whether that's a kill cam issue or whether that happened for the player, if the player actually saw that or not. I'm not sure. It's hard to say. I haven't witnessed it directly, but I have seen it on the kill cam. So the kill cam needs some work, which I guess isn't too surprising. Um, the other questions I have are customization. One of the other things that I really loved about Vegas 1 and 2 was the weapon and outfit customization. Your multiplayer and single player character, if you were playing co-op, was unique to your player, and how fast you moved depended on what kind of armor you had on and what it looked like, and all that was very, very cool, and I really, really enjoyed it. It allowed you to have kind of a run and gun fast guy if you wanted to, or kind of a tank if you put a lot of armor on. It allowed you to play different roles, and in this one they're forcing you into roles by your abilities, not necessarily through customizing your weapons or your outfits or your armor and things like that. I'm assuming there's going to be more maps. Right now there's only 2 maps. That doesn't surprise me. I'll be curious to see if they're all as small as these or whether there's going to be larger ones. In this particular game mode, they have to stay pretty small, because if they're any bigger, there's not enough time. If you're an attacker and you did not find the hostage while in the preparation phase, it'll take too long to check every room and every building. But with these 4 minutes you have normally, you can stumble upon him by accident. So I don't know, if there's going to be any extra different kind of game modes. I hope there are. I hope it's not just like deathmatch in this, because that gets be pretty boring after a while. But I think that will definitely lead into how big these maps are, because I think I guess you could do a capture the flag and a deathmatch in this, but I think you're limited based on time and space when you play in this particular game mode. So we'll see what comes out of that. Is there a single player campaign? I don't know. In previous games there have been. Also, is there co-op in that single player campaign? So is there co-op campaign, which was always awesome to be able to have you and 3 of your friends play together through the entire campaign. It was really awesome. And again, that goes back to the customization, where not everybody looks the same because you have your unique loadouts and your unique armor. So everybody looks the way they want to look, and it's just a lot more fun that way. And of course, Terrorist Hunt, which is another co-op mode that they had in Vegas 1 and 2, which was a ton of fun. Something that I hope they implement. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. More is going to be revealed, I'm sure, as things come out. E3 is coming up in June, and so there'll be all kinds of new announcements about this game. I'm sure this closed alpha only runs until the 13th of April, so it's only going to be up for another week or so. So I'm sure I'll continue to play it. I have noticed that as we play, occasionally the servers go down, and I have noticed from the first day to the third day, the matchmaking and the load screens have definitely are already better. So they're clearly working on it live as we're playing, which I think is a benefit to this process. I haven't seen any specific glitch fixes yet, or any kind of reports as to what they fixed or what they haven't fixed, but I can tell behind the scenes, so to speak, that the servers are getting work done, because my computer doesn't have any problems running this game. Although I have heard a lot of people that I play with, I shouldn't say a lot, some people that I play with say it's really CPU intensive and their computers are having problems running it smoothly. If you look in the upper left hand corner of this gameplay is my FPS. My FPS has been pretty stable and has been really high. It's never gone below 60, and it usually stays well above that. So my computer hasn't had a problem running the game, and it's not even optimized yet. So I think, however it ends up, I will have no problem whatsoever playing this game on my computer. So yeah, we'll see how that turns out. So yeah, guys, that's my impression so far of the game. I'll continue to play it, and if there's anything new added that I learn about it, you see, there was that barricade glitch where for a second there in the kill cam it wasn't there, and then it was. So we'll see. I don't know. I hope that gets fixed. I don't know whether it's the kill cam or whether he actually didn't see the barricade and was allowed to kill me through it. So I don't know. We'll wait and see. But it's an alpha, so there's expected to be a lot of bugs. A lot of guys are just, while they're playing, are complaining about it a lot, and all I keep saying is it's an alpha. This is not a finished product. They have to remember that. You have to expect some glitches and some problems. But for an alpha, I think it's actually already in decent shape. I just hope they refine the process and add a lot of stuff to it. I'm really kind of excited to find out what more is going to come out about this game. I want more. That's what this alpha really leaves me. It leaves me wanting more. I want to know more about it. I hope there's a lot more modes, a lot more operators. I hope there's a lot more customization. I don't know what's going to come out about it because I haven't heard, but I'm sure there'll be more announcements and things that come along. So I'll be sticking close to those reports and learning as much as I can about the game. Now, the other game that Ubisoft's developing right now that I'm really excited about is called The Division, and I haven't heard any hearsay about a closed alpha, but I have heard rumors on the internet that there's going to be a open alpha. Oh, this is funny, by the way. We're gonna watch this. This is a glitch that happened where there's no way to get down the ladder, or at least the icon wouldn't come up, and we had actually rescued the hostage with 3 guys left, and none of them could get down the ladder to help him. All 3 of them fall down and die. You'll see the last guy. He's trying, but he just can't get down. It won't let him do it, and then boom, he falls down, and we lose the match. You know, we had the hostage dead to rights, and all 3 of them just fell off the ladder and died. We ended up losing the round, so that was comical. Everybody took it in stride. That's what happens when you play an alpha. So yeah, anyways, the other Ubisoft game I'm really excited about is The Division. I mean, I'm really psyched for this game. I've been looking forward to it ever since it was originally announced at E3, like in 2013. I can't remember when it was first announced, but I was really kind of awestruck by that trailer and that gameplay footage, and I've been following close by. Massive Entertainment is the one that is developing it for Ubisoft, and it looks really cool. So I'm hoping that there's going to be an open alpha for that, and I'm going to play it, and I'll show, if I can, I'll show as much of it as I can if there's no disclosure agreement like there was in this game, which I hope is something that more developers do in the future with alphas. And betas have no non-disclosure agreements, so you know, it's free advertising for them. So I think it's a benefit to them to allow people that get access to it to show it off a little bit. But I understand they also want to protect their IP. So anyways, I'm going on and on and on. So I'll let you watch the rest of this gameplay to finish out this round. This game is fun. I hope you enjoy it, and you let me know in the comments whether you want to see more videos about it. There's the Kevlar barricade castle. And what else you want to see. You know, any alphas and betas that I am lucky enough to be a part of, I'll definitely show off and let you guys take a look at them so you can see what's coming up and about in the world of video games that I love so much. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you got time, I've got a kid-friendly Minecraft series, a modded Minecraft series that I'm running right now on my channel as well. So you can enjoy that. Family friendly. That's what got me started doing this YouTube thing, was because I noticed a lot of videos that weren't necessarily very friendly for kids, at least in my opinion. And you know, don't get me wrong, this game is not kid friendly either. I don't want your kids watching this gameplay. But anyways, I'm rambling on like a maniac. But I appreciate you guys watching. Please like, subscribe, leave comments, let me know what you want to see, and I'll be back with more later. All right, thanks guys. I'll see ya.